sucker.
Time because she is worried now. She's getting ready to step back inside the square circle, meaning the Royal Rumble coming up on this Saturday. Give it up for WWE Hall of Famer Lita.
I'm back on the show. It's been too long. What's up, guys?
Hey man, how you feel?
I don't want to say I feel too confident, but I feel good. I feel good.
Yeah, like Drake said. Like Drake said, how you feel? 25 sitting on 25 mil. That's what I'm talking about. I need to see some hype getting ready to go into the Royal Rumble because that ain't something that happened on an everyday occasion. I've been sitting here at the house checking the mail every day looking for my invitation. Nothing. So I know you guys to be excited about this, but before we get there, what's the preparation like? How you feel getting ready for the Royal Rumble?
I've been having a ton of fun with this prep. So prior to getting the call, maybe that's the thing. It's not the mailbox, but it's the call. I know no one picks up their phone these days, but so I got the call and I had to switch from my what I think is training, which is more just like, like lifestyle. Like, yeah, I go to the gym, but if somebody's like, hey, want to meet for drinks? I'm like, yep, see you there. Like, it's just like, and then I had to switch. I got the call and I switched into G.I. Jane mode. And it's been super fun because I've been doing like aerial stuff at this trampoline place. I've been doing circus art stuff at this acro sports place, going to the ring with the indie crew here, and just hill sprints, just kind of covering all my bases. I'm having a ton of fun with it, but I will say I'm like, damn, this is a lot of work. So I'm ready. I'm ready to get in and see have it pay off. And yeah.
Now keep it real with me. No anxieties at all.
I don't know, man. Honestly, like I just feel good. Like whatever. Like I want to go in there and do the best I can, but I'm not cocky. It kind of comes with age, right? You're just like, all right, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I'm gonna go in there and do my thing.
Yeah. It's like I always used to tell the guys, I never practiced. I never once practiced. Once I got out of the wrestling school, it was like I tell guys, if it's not like getting up and drinking a cup of coffee, don't do it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. So I've been doing all this kind of fun, more like cardio and making sure my wind and my strength is up. But once I got to the ring, I kind of just hit all my moves and made sure my footwork was there. And I'm like, they're like, what else? I'm like, no, that's it. Like, I'm like I just had to make sure I knew how to do what I can do, and then we're just playing around kind of after that. But you don't want to overdo your stuff. You just like, it's in there. It's like, I just had to wake it back up, but it's there.
I don't know how it was with you, when you was doing this on a regular basis. But for me, I tell you, I used to be so afraid every time before I would walk out of that curtain. I would be like so scared, literally scared. And I think that nervous energy is what made me go out there and try to make sure I, cross all the T's and dot all the I's and do those little bitty things right. And more importantly, not slip off the top rope or some stupid stuff like that. So for me, it was always that anxiety. But as far as your career, you never had that? You never felt that?
Oh no, but that only comes like right like an hour before 30 minutes before. You'll see some people but like before they go out and they're like hyping up and I'm like zenning out because I'm already at like max capacity hype in my body. So I'm just like, all right, just breathe, look at the ground, breathe, kind of go in those like dark corners off to the side of Gorilla because the hype is like I'll just let it explode once I get out there. And then it's just like nerves from right before, but then once I get in the ring, like the bell rings, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. I feel good. Like I'm home. I know what to do now.
Yeah, making those. I always say making those butterflies line up and fly straight. I remember hearing somebody say that a long time ago, and it's something that I always, stuck with me because that's the way you got to, go out there and feel. What is it like, being recognized enough to be one to get the phone call to mix with this generation, because that's what's so cool about it for me. I remember coming back to the Rumble in 2011, and all the young guys was in there waiting on me. We was just talking about Matt Stryker. He got fired because of me that night because he marked out at the commentary table. And they were like, "What the heck? We can't use," But how cool is that? More importantly than anything.
Yeah, so it's cool. Like some of the girls have reached out. They're like, "Oh, I hope I'm in there when you're in there. I want to be in there with you." And I think it really hit home when I dropped in Omaha, did SmackDown last week, and to come out there, my music hits, and these new people that may not have even been wrestling fans when I was active are
Yeah.
chanting Lita the second I walk out there, and that's when it kind of like the whole full circle. Like, wow, to get to have repped my generation when I was doing it, but then kind of get to still mix it up with these current women that have raised the bar. Like where I left that bar, they've raised it, and to get in there and mix it up for just one night, it's really special.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, going off of the anxiety thing you were talking about before, going through the curtain, like Book was talking about, do you think that the fact that you were announced ahead of time, did that do you better, like to calm down and say, okay, people already know I'm going to be here. It's not like all this nervous energy of will they react or will they won't react. You already know, they know that you're going to be there, or would you have rather been a surprise?
That was really interesting choice, right? Like, because one of the big things with the Rumble are the surprises.
Right.
Granted, when you see that countdown, you don't know who is coming out, even if you know who it might be. So there's still that surprise element. But so I was kind of like, really? Okay, we're announcing ahead of time. But then I was like, you know what? You get ahead of the rumors because you know it's going to get out anyway somehow. And then yeah, like getting to share my training experience and watch how engaged the fans are, like cheering me on, saying they're rooting for me and that they're stoked to see me back in the ring. It definitely builds my confidence more than what you're saying, Brad. Like, I hope they remember who I am. I hope and I was like, oh, they're like telling me every day that they not only remember, but they're stoked for me to get out there.
No, man, we getting close to WrestleMania. That's just gonna make the WrestleCon money go up.
Just putting a premium on those photo ops right now.
You feel me?
Recent Royal Rumble entrant, or maybe winner, right?
There you go.
Winner.
Yeah.
You feel where I'm going here? I'm
Yeah.
thinking about, in the future. But no, man.
Bill could post the curtain back a little too far on this show here.
You see the headlines.
Oh, man.
This is too much.
No. Seriously, man. Let's get the elephant out of the room here for a second.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of headlines, I was reading this article right here. It says Booker T Blast idea Lita is taking a young star spot in the Royal Rumble. That's ridiculous. That's what I said. It's news. People chiming in on it. What do you think about when you hear somebody say something like that? Like someone like yourself is taking someone's spot. I mean, personally, like I say, I think it's ridiculous. But what do you think when you hear that?
I mean, if you're going to make an entire show, it's like coming in, like there's some people coming in for one night or a short time. It's like, and it's to build and to mix and to get old generations that maybe fell out of wrestling to pop back in. And now they're up there with you. Like for the current roster, not to see it that way is short-sighted, right? Like let these people that have come in and paved the way spark energy, maybe bring some of their old fans back, and then we'll take off and leave them there with you. And then now it's the ball's back in your hand to pull these extra fans on board.
I don't think it's more so the roster. It's just the fans, have those concepts. And for me, I try to make sure no matter what, you hear and what people say, I still try to look at their side of it, but still try to make them understand. For me, I got a wall next to me, and it's all Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. I love tennis, I mean, Roger Federer, he's my favorite tennis player, and I always say, man, if I was in either one of those sports, and one of those guys were to walk in the room and pull me aside and say, "Hey, kid, can I talk to you for a second? Give you a little knowledge," man, I would be like nuts crazy, looking for that. Like you said, people have been calling you and hit you up in the DM saying, man, I hope I get a shot to get in there with the legend, Lita. For me, the young guys, I think a lot of them know what it's truly all about. And for me, like I say, having someone like yourself in the Rumble, and I always say this, to give the rub, it's going to be awesome. You know what I mean? So I tell you what would be a highlight moment for you if it was that one person you had to get in there and mix it up with?
So that's what I was just thinking when you're talking about that, is like, you get to, in the Rumble, you get to have these like mini matches with different generations and people that you might not get to see in the mix. So like Bianca, someone that I've had my eye on and gotten to watch her ever since her tryout. And so to be able to get in the ring with her. Charlotte, in a weird twist of events, is, even though she didn't even, she's the champ, but getting in there. So to get to like touch today's top stars, is cool. Just have a little moment, and those fans remember those moments too.
I was looking back at times that we had you on the show in the past, and I saw one of the last episodes you were on. It said Lita joins to talk to Amanda, and I was like, who's Amanda? I don't know who that is. And then I realized, oh wait, this is Amanda is now Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
on NXT. She was a runner-up for Tough Enough. What do you think about the run that Mandy's having now? She's kind of finding her footing in NXT. She's the NXT Women's Champion. Have you been keeping tabs on her?
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of these people, especially when you're thrust in from Tough Enough, stumble, because it's just like, that's a bit of a curse, that Tough Enough, right? But then to go down to NXT, where they are really kind of helped more to find their strengths and to give them encouragement to like find who they should be. It's cool to watch someone really hit their stride. Somebody else I wanted to mention, as far as in the Rumble, Book, I don't know if you remember this, but Shotzi, who's now in NXT,
heck yeah,
she was almost on our season of Tough Enough, and she didn't pass medical. She had an issue that she couldn't do it. And I said to her, you'll get another shot. And then so boom, now she's at NXT, and she comes up, and then she's in the Rumble. So to get to have that full circle moment with somebody, I was like, you'll have another shot. I didn't know it was going to be with me face to face, but if we're in there at the same time, it's like these full circle moments are cool.
Let's not forget about Sonya Deville. And let's think about that. Let's go there for a second. I had a blast doing Tough Enough. It was literally an awesome experience to be a part of something like that. And there again, you see 3 stars that right there that was created. Didn't win it, but definitely have proven to be stars. Do you think it's something that we need to think about creating again, just to let that outside world inside to see who could be the next WWE superstar?
Look, I would sign on the dotted line today if we were both doing another show. I had so much fun, the experience, but working with you, getting to work together. We had like a similar, but we would phrase things slightly different, trying to like just figure out how it's going to get into somebody's head. I think it's a really fun show. And as people see, you don't have to win it to make an impression, because people go on all the time to create their own path.
Yeah, it's crazy how this business is. But go ahead, Brad. I see you chomping at the bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that when Tough Enough happened, it was also during kind of a rise of the women's movement in wrestling. And then the Evolution pay-per-view came by, which Booker and I have been campaigning for an Evolution too, because it was the best show of that year, we thought. But now seeing AEW really put a big emphasis on their women's roster. You saw kind of the rise of a Britt Baker. What do you think about the talent that they have over there as far as the women go?
Yeah, I think they're finally starting to add and strengthen that roster, because for a while, and this tends to happen a lot, right? If something catches fire, you go with it, but then it ends up being a one-person show. So it was like the Britt Baker show for quite a bit there, and then now they're like, oh wait, we can't just like throw Nyla to the wayside after we use that. We've got, we can't throw like Ruby. You've got to like build everybody up and kind of keep it going. So watching them kind of have some life on the women's side of things, because the men was so hot and they've like everybody you could think of, but the women was really lacking. And so to see them kind of putting some more emphasis on that, and I remember seeing the hardcore match with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, and that really like putting the women's division on the map over there.
And that's the thing, you just said it. It could look like it's becoming a one-man show, a one-woman show, but it's really hard to build a division where every female on that roster is almost looked at like, man, they could actually be champ. And the same thing, I talked about that with WWE as well. The women's roster 2 years ago, I wasn't talking about, with SmackDown and Raw competing. I was talking about whether the ladies and the men were competing, because that's what the abundance of talent that we had at one point in time. So it's just hard to actually keep that moving. We got the Rumble, of course, but of course the Rumble is going to be here today, of course, and gone tomorrow. What do you see yourself? What's your ideal spot in the business, if that's what you choose to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that, because honestly, like, I had been so off grid with pandemic life. I was just sinking in real nicely to pandemic life, which is not see anyone, not go anywhere, and like have that as almost an excuse to be like, wow, pandemic, whatever. Like, my gardens never look better. Like, I've never slept 8 hours in a night consistently more in my life. But like, here we go, right? This opportunity fell in my lap, and you know how it is. Once you get around it, you start going, well, wait a minute, maybe I could also do this or that, or and maybe I'll leave my house more regularly. So far, like, I had a great time at SmackDown. I've been feeling stoked about the Rumble. So yeah, it's a question mark right now, but I won't lie. It like gets your wheels turning of what, like, there's no doubt that I'll love this business till the day I die. And maybe there's a spot in it that I haven't been utilizing.
Yeah, no, the only reason I say that is because there are so few real carpenters left in the business. And I consider myself a carpenter. People can look at that, however. But for me, I was always one that wanted to put the work in. But then again, I always wanted to be someone who could bring somebody else up and teach them to trade and show them the do's and don'ts. And I was listening to one of my students. He was doing an interview, and one of the questions was, well, how is Booker as a coach? And the first thing he said was harsh.
Accurate.
But it's with love. It's with love. And sometimes that's what they need, to be told exactly how it should be done in the way it shouldn't be done. And you got so much knowledge in your head. And I just think, you'll be a waste to just be sitting at home, doing nothing but looking at Netflix, which is something I've been doing a lot of lately.
I do love that. Like, cause I said when I was like working down with NXT some and producing the women on Raw and SmackDown, it was like, I would want there to be I wish I had a me when I was coming up, because I would have avoided a lot of mistakes that I made, or been able to leapfrog ahead in that knowledge if someone just threw me the answer right there without having to like make those mistakes and go, oh, okay, that's not how I do that. Like, I should have handled it this way or do it this way.
Definitely, man. Brad, you got anything else? I know Lita got to get out of here. She's training, she's doing yoga, she's doing this vegan diet, she's getting ready for this thing.
The whole thing. The
well, yes, I do.
Vegan is like that's the lifestyle training, and then I got to turn it on from there.
Do you do like the Beyond Meat stuff like that? That's what my fiance does. She does the Beyond Beef and things like that. I don't know if I'm all the way in on that.
I do, but you try not to sustain on processed stuff because processed stuff is processed stuff, whether it's vegan or whether it's not, right? So I just try to, it's like eat whole nutritious food, and then that stuff's like a treat, right? Like the fake meat stuff, it's like, so yeah, just eat healthy.
Hey man, like I said, I'll be there. I can't wait. I'm in training myself just in case they pull something on me. You know how wrestlers are.
Someone gets a positive test, you're like, hey, I got my boots.
I'm bringing my bag with me.
I told Book he just needs to trip Mad Cat Moss in the back. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't know what happened here.
Hey, go ahead.
You could be. I mean,
I could work it out there. You know, we could set up a bucket of paint. Something could fall down.
Forget about it. Hey man, I'll be rooting for you on Saturday, and I just want to thank you again for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, giving us a few seconds of your time. But keep it up. Get ready to go out there and do it like it's supposed to be done. Make all the ladies bow down. Make them pay, my daughter. We'll see. We love you, girl.
Thank you. Anytime. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Rumble, Book.
Oh, as well as WrestleCon. Let's not forget about that.
Tickets now available.
Talk to you, girl. Love you.
All right. See you. Love you.
Hey, man. I don't know. Take a quick break.
Take a quick break.
Take a quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a sec. Can you dig it, sucker?